Hey guys, today I'm reading Yankee Doodle Gals, Women Pilots of World War II, and I'm reading part 2. World War II. Flying Fever. Since I was 7 years old, I've been interested in flying. Remember Jean Shaffer Fitzpatrick, another wasp? It looked kind of spectacular. I can remember walking to grammar school in the mornings, and there was this airplane that went right over our path. It was a small plane. I'd see that and I'd go, someday I'm going to be doing that, I said. Flying dreams. Like Jean, many wasps grew up during the 1920s and 1930s and fell in love with flying as young girls. I grew up at the time when aviation was just beginning, explains Maggie G. Flying was an exciting thing to do. Today, maybe kids would want to go to the moon and be astronauts. Back then, the exciting thing was to be a pilot. Our heroes back then weren't movie stars and rock stars. Our heroes were the people who were pushing back the frontiers in the sky. People who had made headlines, gone faster, gone farther. No store Doherty Strother. Strother, far right in photo with her mother and brothers on an airport visit. Airplanes were so new that many families would visit nearby airports on weekends just to look at these flying machines. We'd watch the planes take off. It was a Sunday thing to do, recalls McGee. On one airport visit, 7-year-old Jean saw Charles Lindbergh, the famous pilot who in 1927 was the first person to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean. A few months after this flight, he came to Jean's hometown airport in California to fly in an air race. Jean watched him climb into his plane and zoom off. Later, Jean met another top pilot, Amelia Earhart. In 1932, she was the first woman to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic. In 1937, she disappeared forever during an around-the-world flight. Just before that flight, she came to Jean's local airport. Jean, who was 17 at the time, went there to interview this famous flyer for the school paper. Amelia was so nice, Jean recalls. She didn't talk down to me, she said. She said, "Gee, kid, if you want to fly, go do it." Jean's dream of flying surprised her parents. My mother was against it, Jean reports. She said it wasn't ladylike. In those days, most people thought flying was just for men. Then that didn't stop Jean. It takes a certain type of person to go off and do something different, like being a pilot. McGee notes. What gave McGee and Jean the courage to do that? McGee says that as a little girl, she liked to do things that were a little different. I liked science and I played ball with the boys. Girls didn't do that so much then. Jean points out that she was more adventurous than her sisters, more interested in the outdoors. She also kept her dream of flying alive by reading every book in the library on flying. Dora thanks her mom, who stressed the importance of learning and was supportive of anything I might want to do. I never had a feeling I was different from my brothers in what I could do, notes Dora, who liked building model airplanes with her brothers. Faith Buchner Richards also feels her independent spirit come from her mom. My mother was a college professor in those days. Not many women did that either, Faith explains. I never thought there were any limits to what a woman could do. Up with barnstormers. Some wasps not only dreamed about plane-sized girls, they flew in them. That was kind of unusual in those days, remarks Florine Miller Watson. I was about 8 years old when I took my first airplane ride. I went flying with barnstormers. These were daring pilots who traveled around the country in small planes during the 1920s and 1930s, putting on air shows. Putting on air shows. Okay, that's what I'm gonna end for today. Bye, guys.